Hello everyone. In this video I am going to explain JSP expression language. As I have mentioned earlier, using scriptlets is not a good idea. We can use expression language for some of the tasks to avoid using scriptlets. Okay? In this video I will go in detail about using that. I will take a dynamic web project and I will go step by step. New, choose dynamic web project, select next, expression project. Okay, choose the tomcat, you know already. Click next, next, finish. Okay, first I will take a form. I will create a JSP file, form.jsp. What I will do is I will create a form, table, tr, td, student name, input type is equal to, you can learn the basics of the JSP here. Input type is equal to text. You have to provide some name. Name is equal to sname. This is the name we will use in JSP to retrieve the value the user entered in the text field. So this name is very important. This is the name we will use in the page to which we will submit this form. Okay, we will create another tr, student name, student city. Okay, see, generally in companies we will create forms. Okay, HTML forms. Input type is equal to, this is the beginning of learning JSP. Also you can assume like this. I'm developing a simple form. Text name is equal to city. As I said, this is the name. This name is very important. This is the name which we use in the JSP to retrieve the value you submitted in the form. Then what I will add, a submit button. You have to say input type is equal to submit. Okay, value is equal to submit. Okay, and then we will create a servlet. I will show you how to create servlet, how to use the JSP, and then I will go to expression language. Okay, new, click servlet, give a package, say some student servlet. Okay, when the form is submitted, if you don't specify anything here, the default will be method used will be get, but I want to use post. If you don't use post, the values will be displayed on the browser. Suppose if these are sensitive details, then those will be visible. So we should use form. Method is equal to post. You have to use post request. Then the form values you submitted will be not visible on the browser. Then we have to specify to which servlet we are going to send a request. I created a servlet. Go to deployment descriptor and check the URL pattern. When you want to submit a request to the servlet, you have to use the URL pattern. See, this is the class I have written, right? So for every servlet you have to configure two things: servlet with the class you have written, and you have to provide a name. For this name you have to provide a URL pattern. This is the URL pattern you have to use when you want to submit a request to the servlet. I repeat, when you create a servlet, you have to create servlet and then servlet mapping section. In the servlet section, you will specify the class you have written in servlet class, and you have to provide a name to this servlet. It can be anything. Okay, for this name you have to provide URL pattern in servlet mapping section. This servlet name and this servlet name should match. This is the way of specifying for this servlet. I am giving a name. Okay, so for this servlet, this is the URL pattern you have to use. I can make this as students SS also. If you change it to SS, you have to use this to invoke the student service method in the student servlet. You have to use the URL pattern. Okay, now we will give that in the form. So when a request comes to the servlet, when you give the /ss after the web application in browser, then the request will be redirected to the servlet by the container. The container will call get or post depending on the method you used in the form. Since we have written post here, see, the functionality of submit button is when you click on this page will be submitted to the value you specified in the action. Here I specified URL pattern. This is the URL pattern I specified here. Remember that for sending request to the servlet, you have to use the URL pattern you specified in the web.xml. Then what will happen? The corresponding servlet class will receive the request when we submit the form. Okay, I hope you are following what I am saying. Whenever you give a URL pattern, the servlet class in corresponding servlet session will be invoked. Now the request goes, when you submit the form, since I have given post, the post method internally there is a method called service method in the student servlet. That servlet contains code to redirect to do get or do post depending on the method you used. Since you used post, there will be a logic in service method in HTTP servlet that will check to redirect to do get or do post based on the method. So we will get this. So we submitted form, right? We will create a student class, new class student TO. Then to store the parameters I submitted from the form, I am creating one class, private string. What are the values? Sname and SCT. I will create those properties. Private string SCT. Public generate getter and setter methods, sorry, run a source, generate getter and setter methods.